So Obamacare wins for the third time at the Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court upheld the Affordable Care Act for the third time on Thursday. Now, if this seems a little odd to you, I will explain why this ruling went the way it did. Yes, InfoWars is still a thing. They have kicked Alex Jones off of all the other platforms. But you can still go to Infowars.com, apparently bandvideo.com or whatever the fuck. He's got a couple of different sites that links to his bullshit. We get to play an Alex Jones clip every now and again. He still says some funny shit. So the Supreme Court upholds the Affordable Care Act. This comes in a series of rulings that definitely have a corporate bent to them. So the vote was 7-2 to uphold the Affordable Care Act. The opinion, written by Justice Stephen Breyer, was joined by Chief Justice John Roberts and Clarence Thomas, Kagan, Kavanaugh, and Barrett. Alito and Gorsuch were the only ones who dissented. Gorsuch kind of surprises me. They would have struck down the most popular parts of the law, including the provision barring discrimination based on pre-existing medical conditions. That does make sense. But the majority decision threw out the challenge to the law on the grounds that Texas and other objecting GOP-dominated states were not required to pay anything under the mandate provision and thus had no standing to bring the challenge to court. So because the federal government is footing the bill, the states had no right to sue. Now, while some people might be celebrating that ruling, justices also ruled in favor of child slavery, backing Nestle, which makes perfect sense. The Obamacare ruling is about keeping the 32 million people, whatever the fuck it is, subsidized patients receiving insurance. It's a win-win for the insurance companies. The government is paying for it. They don't have, and these are the most high risk. The government is subsidizing while the insurance companies are making a profit. So I totally get why they ruled in favor of the Affordable Care Act. But also today they sided with food giants Nestle and Cargill in a lawsuit that claimed they knowingly bought cocoa beans from farms in Africa that used child slave labor. The justices ruled 8-1 in favor of food companies and against a group of 6 adult citizens who claimed they were taken from their country from Mali as children and forced to work on cocoa farms in neighboring Ivory Coast. And me, as a chocoholic, I will tell you, if we can't have chocolate without slavery, I will give it up. I promise you. The justices said an appeals court was wrong to let the group's lawsuit go forward. Although respondents' injuries occurred entirely overseas, the Ninth Circuit held that respondents could sue in federal court because the defendant corporations allegedly made operational decisions in the United States. Yes! If you were going to sue Nestle and Cargill, you would do it in the United States. That makes perfect sense. The Ninth Circuit erred by allowing the suit to proceed, Justice Clarence Thomas wrote in the majority opinion for the court. The case had been twice dismissed at an early stage before being revived by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. When the case was argued in December, then President Donald Trump's administration backed Nestle and Cargill because, of course, they get... And then finally, any other major ruling today? Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Catholic Church, so you know it's bad. It wasn't American children, so who cares? The U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday sided with Catholic Social Services in a battle that pitted religious freedom against anti-discrimination laws in Philadelphia and across the country. The court declared that the private Catholic agency was entitled to renewal of its contract with the city for screening foster parents, even though the agency violated city law by refusing to consider married LGBTQ couples. Wow, we've got some loving homes for some kids, but we can't let them go to them because Sky Daddy says we'll rot in hell over it. It says you'll rot in hell over it. It doesn't even say that in the fucking Bible. First of all. But then it's apparently the couples will rot in hell. Oh, you know they're saying they're worried about pedos. But that's exactly what happens in the Christian foster care system. Oh, they're absolutely saying they're worried about pedos. They're making that argument. At issue was a decision by the city of Philadelphia to end its contract with Catholic Social Services for screening potential foster care parents. CSS challenged the termination in court, citing its religious belief that same-sex marriage is wrong, and that maintaining and ending the contract violated the First Amendment right to free exercise of religion. Fuck off. The court agreed unanimously that the city violated the Catholic group's rights, but the justices divided 6-3 on the reasoning, with the majority limiting the reach of its decision. Yeah, the Catholic fucking church worried about pedophiles. Exactly. It's certainly a loss, said Richard Deering, the chief of the appeals division for the New York City Law Department, who filed a brief for local governments in support of Philadelphia. It's a narrower one than some might have feared, so I think in that sense it's not exactly a bullet dodged. But there will be additional cases. President of the Human Rights Campaign said, "Our opponents are constantly looking for opportunities to challenge our rights. So this is not the end of the story." Of course it's not.